How's everybody doing? Hey! All right. So my name is Sade Elhawary, and I'm only pronouncing it because the voice of whoever was just speaking said it a little different. I always joke that I've been involved in local politics since I was elected student body president in elementary school. But in reality, it was really being on the drill team that helped me get to where I am today. It taught me everything I needed, from fundraising, teamwork, discipline, and of course, all my cool dance moves. I remember selling ice pops for a quarter and chocolates and chips for 50 cents so that we could afford our uniforms, so that we could go to the competitions. And as captain, that's where I learned to use my voice. I learned to be able to encourage my teammates. I learned to be able to lead our cheers and chants. So when I ran for president, on the promise that I would fight for new vending machines if elected, I was prepared to sit in the principal's office, advocating for the student body and following through on my word. That leadership potential is in so many young people. It's why my career has been so invested in the leadership development of our young folks. It's why so many of you work with our young people. It's why I mentored high school students, even when I was in college, and later became a history teacher and a counselor. It's also why I became a foster mom. It's what led me to become a community organizer with high school students. And as a youth organizer at Community Coalition, an organization right here in South Central LA, I recruited, trained, and developed the next generation of leaders and activists in our community. But what does that actually look like on the ground? I'm gonna share an example of what that means and why it's so important to organize our community. Back in 2011, I organized at Fremont, a high school right here in South Central that was so low performing that it had to be reconstituted. It's a process by which the state takes over a school, fires the entire staff, forces everyone to reapply for their jobs. And then they restructure the entire school as well. What happens in these situations is that folks often feel disempowered, as if they don't have a voice. In community organizing, we say, hell no. We all have a voice, and we have to use it. So we get up and do something about it. We get young people and the community involved in making sure their voices are heard. In this case, we pushed the state to prioritize 3 demands. First, we wanted to make sure that we had a dropout program, a dropout recovery intervention prevention program, because so many of our young people were slipping through the cracks. We wanted to make sure there was a healthcare academy for young people to have career pathways and be introduced and have access in that way. And we were looking at creating a wellness center and a garden. From the very beginning, we trained our student leaders to be able to advocate for each of these components. We partnered with other local organizations like the LA Neighborhood Land Trust, UMA Community Clinics, as well as after-school programs that were invested in the transformation of the school, grounded in what we wanted to make sure that the community was able to see. Now, community organizing is all about strategy, but it's about inside and outside strategy. That means on the outside, we're doing everything we can to push. So we train students, train young people like Tarek Gutierrez, the star running back of the football team, who would outreach to other students and then hang out with us during lunch, create dialogues, conversations, spaces for other young people to really understand what it would mean to push for the policy, push for the forms that we knew that we were fighting for, to see the actions that we needed to take to mobilize their peers. And we prepared them so that they could have conversations with their principal, the superintendent, and folks who were in leadership that they knew would be able to change and push for what they wanted to see from the outside. Our organizational team as well at COCO Community Coalition was also meeting with leadership from the district and at the state so we could understand all levels of the fight to ensure our demands were coming to fruition. Systems change requires us to be strategic in who we target and how we target them. That's how all of our demands were met. While the youth in our coalition was working hard from pushing on the outside, we were building relationships on the inside as well, showcasing what we call inside-outside strategy. Today, because of the work of that coalition that came together, Fremont High School has turned around so much, doubling the graduation rate and significantly improving college-going rates as well. And the Wellness Center that I mentioned earlier, it's now a clinic created to address health disparities with medical exam rooms, mental health counseling, and dental exams offered for both students and the community at large to receive health services on campus. With the work we did at Fremont, we've seen the proliferation of school-based clinics all over South LA and LAUSD, especially at those schools with the highest need. That's equity, right? Everything we do, especially as organizers, has to be strategic if we truly want to make a difference. And as you all are sitting here thinking about the work you do, it really takes that extra step of thinking about what can we do to be strategic to ensure that we are not just making a statement. Systems change requires us to really invest in ensuring that we are making a difference for the young well-being of our kids. I started by talking about my love of drill team and how it got me this far. We know the impact sports has on individual young people and entire communities. But to make sure that sports-based youth development is prioritized, it can't stop there. We have to make sure that we bring together the power of the people, that we build coalitions to fight for the change we all wish to see, because it really has to be inherent in the budgets that we create and the policy we form. So it's really incumbent on all of us to ensure that we're pushing as much as possible for us to not just see that the first thing on the chopping block every time we have a budget deficit is sports-based youth programs. We have to recognize that while we're doing amazing work, you all are doing incredible by serving our youth every day through sports, through leadership development, through teamwork. We also need to build coalitions with other coaches, sports teams, athletic directors, schools, programs, to truly push for what we know our young people deserve when it comes to play. The power of people and the power of the people is what will make the difference, and it's what always has. So now, I'm gonna ask you all to do a quick chant with me, if that's okay, because you know the power of the people and community organizing has a little chanting, a little protest. Are y'all cool with that? All right, so I'm gonna say, ain't no power like the power of the people. And we gotta keep it on beat because it's a little harder. I did a long one for you today. And you all are gonna say, because the power of the people don't stop. So we're gonna practice that together. Because the power of the people don't stop. One more time. Because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a great day.